Meghan Markle picked the most patriotic day in America to quietly signal that her marriage is still intact, or, at least, still marketable. At first glance, it looked innocent enough. Red, white, and blue cupcakes, a nostalgic family-themed post, a memory of her second date with Harry. But zoom out and it stops feeling like tradition and starts looking like a soft-focus PR strategy, begging the audience to buy into a fairy tale that's running out of magic. She shared how H brought her cupcakes back in 2016. Yes, she still calls him H, not Harry, not even husband, just a letter. Like he's a scripted side character in her narrative. You've been around people who love control. You know how nicknames can be the first step in shrinking someone's identity, emotionally compressing them to fit a role. And that's what this feels like: Harry being rewritten as a secondary figure in a life that used to be his own. The cupcakes aren't the issue. It's the excess, the sugar-coated symbols dropped like breadcrumbs to distract from the deeper cracks. Look, we're happy, the post insists. See the sprinkles? But truly happy couples don't try this hard, and they definitely don't pull out decade-old memories as evidence of a spark that should speak for itself. Even Queen Elizabeth, who initially welcomed Meghan with hope, began to see through the shine. Over time, as many did. She saw something shift, something that damaged the close bond she once had with Harry. Trying to keep this love story alive feels like blowing air into a balloon that's already leaking. It won't hold, no matter how many posts or props you add. Meghan's social media ramp-up didn't happen randomly. It came when divorce rumors started circling, and this isn't just nostalgia, it's rebranding. It's the start of a new image rollout with curated intimacy and picture-perfect distractions. And Harry, once the bold soldier, the royal heartthrob, Diana's proud son, now he's reduced to a background character. Carrying bags in Manhattan, reaching for her hand while she pulls away like he's a fan asking for a photo. Meghan's lifestyle shots now get more attention than he does her fruit salad, has more presence than her husband. And that Independence Day spread? Watermelon with cheese, strawberries with leaves still on it, looked like their marriage. Mismatched, overthought, and trying desperately to be something it's not. So when you see those cupcakes again, remember, that's not love, it's crisis control. It's a story being sold, not shared. Because real love doesn't need filters or frosting, it's quiet, solid, and effortless. But on a day that celebrates freedom, what we actually saw was a man who's lost his own. And that irony doesn't need a caption. It's like watching someone slowly fade into the background of a movie they were once meant to headline, while Meghan fine-tunes her Instagram aesthetic with perfect lighting and photo-ready platters. Harry just stands there, reduced to a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes, trapped in a loop of cupcake memories and staged joy. The spark is gone, replaced with stiff poses and curated nostalgia designed to sell the illusion of love rather than reflect the truth of it. If you've been paying attention, you know Harry's no longer leading anything. He's being led. Take his recent attempts to speak out about causes that matter to him: mental health, veterans, real things. Where's Meghan during all of this? Nowhere near. She's visible when it's about her, a Netflix docuseries, a podcast, an interview about her story. But when Harry steps into his own spotlight, she vanishes. And when she does appear, it's often to steal the show: white pantsuits, front throw camera angles, commanding attention at events meant to highlight wounded soldiers, not her wardrobe. She doesn't lift up his work, she overshadows it. The latest food stunt. It's the perfect metaphor. This wasn't a casual summer picnic. It was content creation disguised as sincerity. Watermelon thrown in with cheese cubes. Limp crackers sitting under unwashed strawberries, still wearing their green stems. It wasn't a meal, it was bait for engagement. And Harry, he was somewhere in the back, yet again not a partner. Just a prop. But what's most unsettling isn't the soggy fruit or the glossy captions. It's how deliberate the whole thing is. Meghan knows the game inside and out. Timing, optics. The art of making something look spontaneous while planning every detail. That 4th of July post wasn't about celebration, it was about control, a well-dressed distraction from the cracks beneath the surface. Even the way she refers to him just age might sound sweet to some, but it strips away the layers of who he really is. This isn't just a husband. This is Prince Harry, son of a king, brother to a future king, decorated. Veteran, a man who once stood tall in a uniform that meant something. But in her version of the story, he's H, the cupcake guy. The man with soft smiles and no center, a sidekick in a fairy tale that's beginning to unravel. Meanwhile, as she polishes her brand, Harry seems to be slipping further away. Their foundation is falling apart. The Invictus gains his pride. His creation now feels buried beneath tabloid noise and awkward PR spins. And let's not forget, he doesn't have a defined role anymore. No military post, no royal duty, no clear purpose beyond occasional interviews and ghost-written memoirs. Just fragments of identity and a growing need to prove something that used to come naturally. You can feel the pressure closing in. Meghan feeds on the spotlight, but Harry looks like he's fading under its weight. No longer the bold, cheeky royal, but someone quietly trying to remember the lines in a story that no longer feels like his own. And honestly, it's hard not to feel for him, not because he's helpless, but because he seems lost in a life that doesn't have anchors anymore. So when those polished Instagram posts go live and cupcakes reappear as symbols of something magical, most people aren't seeing romance, they're watching the glitter-covered unraveling of a love story that was supposed to be real. Because deep beneath the filters and the frosting, I think there's a truth no one wants to say aloud. Some fairy tales don't make it past the credits. Just look at David and Victoria Beckham. They've just marked 26 years of marriage, a remarkable achievement, especially under the glare of fame. But even that milestone wasn't enough to keep their family story neat when their golden child Brooklyn veered off course. The Beckhams are practically British royalty, refined, disciplined. Media trained, but no amount of designer polish or PR mastery can protect a parent's heart when your own son starts treating you like a stranger. And David, he just received a knighthood, an honor that symbolizes everything he's given to England. A legacy bigger than football. He's done more for Britain's global image than most politicians could ever dream of. He's a football legend, a global brand, a respected philanthropist, yet on his milestone 50th birthday, there was nothing from Brooklyn. No post, no message, not even a quiet text. He was in the UK. He had time. The silence wasn't accidental. It was intentional. A choice. And somehow that silence made more noise than any tabloid headline ever could. Brooklyn, now married to Nicola Peltz, the billionaire heiress of Nelson Peltz, seems to have swapped family bonds for private jets and high society circles. This isn't just distance. Feels calculated, deliberate, like emotional exile masked as independence. The Beckhams, who gave him everything, love, opportunities. A last name that opens every door, have been pushed to the edge of his new world. Reduced to background noise in a life that looks picture perfect on paper but feels cold at the core. It's hard not to see the parallel with another famous son, Harry. Once the heart of the royal family. Now a distant figure wrapped in a relationship that seems to isolate rather than uplift. There's a pattern here, one that's hard to ignore. When love starts to pull someone away from everyone else, it's cutting off ties geographically, emotionally. Financially, it stops feeling like romance and starts to resemble a controlled narrative. You're told your old life was flawed, your family doesn't understand, and before long, the version of you they once knew becomes a ghost. That's what happened to Harry, and now it's unfolding with Brooklyn. For David and Victoria, icons in their own right, it must feel like watching a slow heartbreak unfold in public, wrapped in wealth, but hollow in meaning. Victoria sold over 50 million records. David built a brand bigger than most countries' reputations, and together they became Britain's unofficial second royal family. And yet, with all their success, they're still just parents feeling the ache of absence. They post anniversary photos full of smiles and memories, but there's always someone missing. And they feel it. Every parent would. Brooklyn's silence. On David's big day wasn't just a missed message, it was a gut punch. His absence at family gatherings echoes louder than applause at their red carpet moments. And the saddest part is, this isn't a broken home. The Beckhams are stable, supportive, present. They're not toxic, they're not drama, but they're being treated like a burden, like a brand that's no longer needed in the next chapter. Then you look over at Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. Glamorous, adored, seemingly in sync, and now, done. 9 years, a child, an engagement, but no wedding. Just years of public affection, premieres, appearances, and performances. On the surface, it looked effortless. But it wasn't. That's the silent curse of celebrity relationships. Two stars shining so brightly in different directions that they eventually burn out. Not because of lack of love, but lack of balance. Everyone's performing even when the cameras are off. Katy's a pop powerhouse. Orlando's a leading man. When both people are used to being the main event, no one holds the center. And that's the problem. Without an anchor, everything floats apart. Look at Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. She ruled. He supported. There was respect, balance, structure. It worked. But with Katy and Orlando, it was two suns orbiting different galaxies, never fully colliding. So now, between Brooklyn's quiet estrangement, Harry's slow unraveling, and yet another power couple breaking under the weight of image, the message becomes painfully clear: public love is fragile. The more you package it, post it, prove it, the faster it slips through your fingers. Because real love doesn't scream for attention. It lives in the quiet, in the moments no one sees. And if you feel the need to convince the world it's still alive, chances are it's already gone.